Good morning. So today I'm going to continue my series on how to make paper transformers. Now we started off with Swindle and we got his head right here, and we're going to group it, object group, and we're going to do that, and then we're going to align it with the body so that way it's centered, so we can play around with it and work it in the way that we need to. So we got that, and the body's not going to be purple. It's going to be a different color. But we got to start thinking about the Jeep aspect of this guy. And what does it mean? So what does it mean, the fact that he's a Jeep? So we're going to make a little leg, square tool. It's not called square tool. It's called object builder. I don't know. And then we're going to add on that element right there. So now we've got that going on. Now we got to think about the Jeep element. Like I said, we got to think about the Jeep element. And what does he look like? We've got Swindle right there. We got Swindle. That's kind of what he looks like. That Doom little buggy. That's what they want us to believe. But he ain't that. He's more like a Jeep like this. So we need that flippy thing right here. That's going to go right here. And then we need the car thing that's going to go right here. Now, for the Jeep flippy thing, what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make... I want to stay away from this adding and cutting and sticking of things. But I think I'm going to do it with this one because I just can't think of any other way to make it look like how I want it to look. Now we're going to make a circle, and in order to make a perfect circle, what you do is you hold shift, and then you got your perfect circle right there. So you got the Jeep element right there, the little wheel, and then we're going to pull it out a little bit. So you got the first wheel right there, and then we're going to take this, and then we're going to hold Alt. And we got the second wheel right there. So there we go. We got two wheels already. Now we're going to build this. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to delete this wheel because we're going to copy it. Just like building one particular object and then copying and making a particular. And you can utilize these tools in many different ways in order to be able to do whatever you like. But so this is what I'm working on. But these Illustrator tools can be utilized to make logos, to make yourself some extra money, to even write monologues. I mean, you name it. It's a whole body of work that's happening here. So we've got that. We've got the circle within the circle, and then we're gonna draw an even smaller circle. Cancel. We're going to go like this, shift, and then hold, and there you go. And then you're going to change the point value all the way at the top. You're going to 0.05. You're going to take this, and you're going to put it right smack. You see it says the word center. You do it right there. But the another trick that you can do is you can group this whole element, and you can do, what is it? Like you see right here. You see this, you can do this one, and then this one. Both at the same time. It'll send it to the center of this and the center of that. So you got that. Now we're not going to add what's that thing? The little tie tracks, but the little ribbing on the thing. We're just going to make it black, and then we're going to make this one as well. We're going to use the little eyedropper tool, and we're going to make it black right there. And we're going to take the wheels. We're going to see, what did the wheels look like? The wheels actually look gray. They don't look white. So we're going to take the wheels and we're going to make it gray, and then we're going to do that. And so there we got our wheel. Ain't that wonderful? Now we've got our wheel there, and now we're going to take this wheel, we're going to object group the entire thing. That means select it. We're not going to group it just yet. Actually, you know what? We're going to group it. We're going to group it, because when you group this and when you copy it, you end up seeing the exact same thing. And just right up below, and there we go. We got a little element right there. Now we've got this little panel right here for the Jeep. Now, since this is folding backwards, then this has to fold up. So then you're thinking to yourself, how do I do this? So I think that the best way for this particular thing, because it folds up, is to have it be a separate entity that tapes on to the actual element. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little tab right there. We're going to move this tab over a little bit more over to the side. And then so there we got a tab. Now this is going to go on the behind of this particular robot. And then we're going to move his head right smack in the middle, just to leave it there, just to show you that it's there. So then now what we're going to do is we're going to build the windshield. So it's yellow, and it's got this little blue tint right there. So we're going to add a square right there. And then we're going to take this whole element and we're going to go like this. And then we're going to go like this. So that way it's right smack in the center. And then we're going to take this and then we're going to do that kind of mustardy, kind of yellow. It's this, maybe something like that. Maybe something like this. See, when it prints, it don't print like that. See this little thing, it's going to be like, I don't know how to read that color. So then what you do is you try to fidget with it. And then if you click on, let's say if you click on it, it'll go to, see, notice the dot right there, the little circle. If you click on it, it's going to go all the way to the side. And it's going to tell you, this is what I can do. So why don't you let me do that? So then you do that. And then what you do is you click on the purple. And then what you do is you go to the blue. And you want to make it like a cobalt blue. Something like that. So there we got it. There we got a little Jeep thing going on right there. And then this guy, we might as well just color him that same color, because that's the color he's going to be. So we're going to go ahead and take that, do it right there. Take this, do it right there. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this into a little bit of a darker color. So that way we got that going on right there. Now notice the head is not straight. And that's alright. That's alright right now. We're going to be able to set that up later. So we've got this Jeep thing. This is going to flip. This is going to be taped underneath here. The back of this is going to be taped underneath here and underneath here, so that way when it flips up, it shows you the Jeep version. This is one of to make a car is one of the easiest things that you can make in the Transformer universe. When it starts getting a little bit more complicated is when you start making triple changes, which I will make the Blitzwing and the Astro Train for you, in order so that you can enjoy them. And when it starts to get super complicated is when you've got like characters like Six Shot. Even the combiners are a little complicated. So now we've got we're going to look at what does this Jeep look like. This Jeep looks like that. You know, this Jeep looks like a little bit like that. So how do we flip it? And in the future, what I'm learning is I'm learning how to print frontwards and backwards. So that way I can make a front page and a back page. So when it prints, you can just cut it and then make it in a way that you want it to. So we've got that. Now we're going to make this a little bit thicker, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to color it this color, and then I'm going to fidget with this, and I'm going to pull out a ruler all the way to the left. You see right there my little arrow, and I'm going to pull all the way to the right, and then I'm going to pull another arrow right here, and I'm going to see where is my shapes and how can I get them to be where I want them to be. And because what I want to do is I want to make it bigger, so I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to pull this out a little bit more. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to center it. And then I'm going to move it a little bit, and then I'm going to hold Alt to copy it, and then I'm going to move it over here. Now, as you can tell, I got a lot going on right there, and that's not what I wanted. So, go back to the drawing board, pull this in a little bit, and know that it's going to double, so pull it in a little bit more. So then now, do this, so that it's centered. Do that, pull it back a little bit, and wow, I just keep having this problem. Now I'm going to pull it. There we go. That should fix it. You got to notice that it's doubling it. So that's why it's making that problem. And then you're going to select And I'm okay with that. I ain't so